Hello and welcome to Computer Retro Bus, where dusty old machines forgotten in old garages get a second chance. So this was part of a package of computers that I bought for $20. 4 computers, 20 bucks. Great buy. It arrived to me half naked, side panel missing, gone forever. I'll never find another because it's a custom one with a dragon wing. So what we'll do is have a look inside, see what we got, see what we're dealing with. Can we bring it back to life and make it respectable again? I'm really loving the feedback that I'm getting from some of my recent videos, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. I'm really trying to grow this channel and I'm really loving interacting with the community. It's fantastic. So let's take a closer look at what we're working with. Got a power supply that's really dusty. The Royal power supply, very nice. Okay, so AMD system and Asus AN-E. So it's a socket 939, I've done a bit of research, which means it's an Athlon 64 of some description. 3 RAM sticks. Video card of some description. And that I assume is going to be the modem. Not much use to us anymore. Oh, here we go. There's our missing RAM stick. Hello there. 256 meg of DDR333. Looking a little bit corroded. I wonder if this is still going to work. I'd be shocked if it does. But what have we got to lose at this stage, eh? Okay, so come around the front. Whoa, beige drives. Beige IDE drives. Oh, can never have enough of those, guys. Our really cool ringed side panel. Oh my god, look at this face. Yeah, it looks like it's some sort of a Alienware rip-off. I'm assuming that lights up. This one's just gone completely missing. An angry face of some sort. Oh, these designs are amazing. Oh, look at this. Here we go. Let's show some teeth. Look at that. Angry. Looks like some sort of an angry bird. I don't know. Okay, yeah. Haven't bothered to plug the top one in. Lots of dust. We love that, don't we? Well, today we either resurrect history or we become a part of it with this thing. Now the question is, should I plug this in or not? Again, I really have suspicion with this corroded connectors if it's going to work. What have we got to lose? Alright, let's plug it up and see if we can get a post out of it. Move this thing. Don't you hate it when that happens? Okay, forget about it. Power supply on. Okay, got a little green LED lit up. Good start. Fans are spinning. Yes. That's going to set up. Okay, one of the DVDs is showing up. It's a Pioneer. Excellent. CPU configuration. Okay, so it looks like we've got an Athlon 64 3000. And our installed memory is 1.5 gig by the look of it. Can't believe that corroded RAM worked. There you go. Okay, so what we'll do next is turn this off, strip it down and clean it up, get it looking a bit more respectable and running like it did in its heyday. Put a hard drive in and get an operating system installed.
The Asus A8N-E, a legend in its own way. It features the awesome Enforce 4 Ultra chipset. This was the chipset you wanted if you were running AMD at the time. Solid as a rock, back when Asus built boards like they were military hardware. This board was the beating heart of many gaming rig, the kind of platform you trusted to take abuse. This board carried the dreams of every budget gamer who wanted just that little bit more frame rate and wasn't afraid to risk it all with an optimistic overclock. The Royal power supply. I gently now remove His Royal Highness and prepare him for dusting. Now it's time to undo all those screws one by one and get that motherboard out. And I must say, it's as filthy as I'd expect. I think the camera doesn't actually do it justice, to be honest. It's pretty bad, but we'll deal with that later. And lastly, just need to get those DVD drives out. Amazingly, they're actually screwed in from both sides.
Okay, I think this thing needs to go outside for a bit of a de-dusting. Hey kitty.
Kitty doesn't want to be a part of anything I'm about to face. This case, unfortunately, is full of all sorts of sticky residue and gunk. I ended up buying this on the promise that it's going to get rid of it. Orange Miracle, and I really was hoping for a miracle. And you know what? It actually did deliver. It was actually pretty good for dissolving all that sticker residue that you get from leftover stuff that was stuck on. At this point, I wondered, why the hell am I even cleaning this thing? It's missing a side panel. What am I going to do with it? By the time I asked myself this question, I'd pretty much done most of it anyway. And holding the line on graphics duty is the GeForce 9400 GT. Not the hero we wanted, not even from the same era. It's actually 4 years after everything else in this system, which is mostly 2004. The GeForce 9400 was released in 2008. But here it is, drafted into service like a lost soldier from another war. It's underpowered, overworked, and completely out of place. This thing was Nvidia's polite shrug to the budget market. A small, stubborn survivor from a time when good enough still meant something. And here we are, dusting off the Royal Power Supply. I've never heard of this brand, even Google gives me nothing. Now we move on to the motherboard. And just in case the video card wasn't a clue, well, someone's been in here and done some stuff. Looking at this Northbridge cooler, it is not right. It was not the original. Someone has decided to hack one on after who knows what the hell happened to the last one, but it's an absolute mess. When I uncovered this thing, it was just covered in all sorts of, I don't know what it even was, to be honest. It's some sort of gold mixed with silver, thermal paste of some sort, and it was an absolute nightmare to get off. I ended up spraying lots of IPA, letting it marinate a little bit. In the end, I actually ended up peeling it off. Yes, peeling it. So once I was able to get the crusted film off, I was able to get a little bit more in there and scrub the rest of it to the best of my ability. Every man has his limits. Now to get out the RAM and clean it. Typically the closest stick to the CPU is always going to be the dustiest, with the CPU cooler blowing all that dust onto it. But then came the next big moment, getting that heatsink off. And I was getting Vietnam flashbacks from the last one that I did. Alright. Oh, here we go. Classic, right? I hope that's thermal paste and not epoxy. I really do. Felt like history was repeating itself. It had that same familiar feel, that uncompromising, unbudging firmness, but God's favoured me this time. And here we are, the Athlon 64 3000 Plus. This was AMD's middleweight champion in the great CPU wars, back when Intel was obsessed with clock speeds and Pentium 4s were melting desks. AMD went for brains over brawn. They built something leaner, smarter, and cooler, literally. The AMD 64 could go toe-to-toe with chips that cost twice as much and didn't break a sweat doing it. The cooler was a horror show, a monument to years of neglect, clogged fins, dust packed in like ancient sediment, and a fan that hadn't spun freely since Windows XP days. I had to pull the whole thing apart just to get a glimpse of the metal underneath the grime. By the time it was clean, I wasn't sure if I'd restored a cooler or performed an exorcism. A simple brushing was not going to cut it with this fan. We needed to move it up to wet wipes. One of the tricks I use is to actually wrap a wet wipe around a screwdriver and go in and scrape each fan blade one by one, painfully. Now moving on to the DIY hack job that they used for the Northbridge cooler. Believe it or not, it was actually worse than it first even appeared. The fan was actually on backwards. The screws were jammed in and it was just full of dust as usual. Video cooling comparison was a walk in the park. Easy to pull apart, and nice and easy to clean with a simple brush through.
And now it's time to start getting it all back together. First, get some thermal paste onto that graphics card and put that fan back on, which is going to be a walk in the park compared to that horrible Northbridge I'm going to deal with in a second. And you can see how bad it really is. It's about 1 millimeter off that inductor coil. So yeah, this is going to be a temporary solution.
Thermal compound on that CPU and get that CPU cooler seated in there nice and snug. Get our RAM sticks back in, even our corroded one.
And here are all our system parts, all clean and ready to go back into that horrible case.
Speaking of, here it is. Get that motherboard back in, screw it all down tight. Get our graphics card back in. Put the modem back in. Why? I have no idea. Completeness, I guess. And that external USB. And here he is, Royal Highness, coming back in to his throne. Plugging up that motherboard. Getting all our DVD drives back in also. And plug in all those IDE cables. And here is the hard drive I'll be putting in. It's a 500 gigabyte Seagate. And clean the desk of that trauma.
Okay, I've done all that I can do. No more anger, no more cleaning, no more prayers, just the truth. Let's see if the gods of silicon are still with us and this thing will boot. All right. Okay, to the power supply. Wow. Fans are spinning. It's very loud. Yes, we have a screen and a lovely variety of warnings we come with. CMOS errors, chip fan, fail, or speed is too low. I don't know, let's have a look. What do we deal with first? All right, let's go into BIOS and see what's going on. See what we can detect. One of the DVD ROMs has been detected and the hard drive's also been detected, that's good. I'm thinking that the chip fan is that hack job of a fan that they've actually put in there, and it doesn't have the proper 3-pin fan which has the sensor. Okay, look at that. That's that little chipset fan that someone's hacked in there. It's got blue LEDs. Whoa. RGB before it's time, my friends. But it sounds terrible. And I think that's the thing that's flagging all those BIOS warnings for me as well, because look at that. That's not made for that. It's just jammed a pin in there. Whereas the CPU fan seems to be running smooth and pretty quiet. This on the other hand, nah. Okay, we have gotten both DVD ROMs to appear in BIOS and the hard drive. Fantastic. So we'll get a disk in there soon, but look what I got working. The LEDs, yeah, totally cool. Blue LEDs, one busted up eye. Let's get that grimace back. Good. Come on, there we go, look at that. Oh, this must have been so impressive in its day. Okay, I think we might leave it there for this episode, guys. This machine's really taken its pound of flesh from me today, and it's getting really late. So I've managed to get the hard drive working, all the disk drives working as well. It's booting from CD, so it's ready to install Windows XP. So what we'll do is in the next one, we'll install Windows XP and get some benchmarks and test this beast out and see how she runs. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, obviously like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.